Azra, I am 19 years old and I come from Bosnia. Welcome to our vlog.
Hi, I'm Nina, I'm from Slovakia and I'm 19 years old.
It's Larisa, I'm 18 years old and I'm from Romania, and I hope you'll enjoy our little vlog.
So what us three have in common is that we're all first year students at the University of Groningen.
We are studying international
And European law.
So today we're going to be tackling a descriptive or defining research question. In other words, we're going to be addressing how something is expressed, how it functions, and how certain phenomenon can be defined or classified.
Our research question is, what is life imprisonment without parole for juveniles and how does it affect society?
We are also going to look at a legal comparison between two legal systems, the US and the Netherlands, and how each country approaches this situation.
First, we're going to start off with defining some of the terms.
A juvenile is a child or a young person who is not yet old enough to be regarded as an adult.
Life without parole is a prison sentence given to a convicted defendant in which they will remain in prison for the entire life and will not have the ability to conditional release before they complete the sentence.
The United States is right now the only nation that does sentence people to life without parole for crimes that are committed as a juvenile, or in other words, crimes that are committed before the age of turning 18. The choice to allow teenagers to receive the harshest punishment, which indeed is the life imprisonment without parole, is not something that is shared among all states. 19 states and the District of Columbia have abolished life sentences without the possibility of parole, and in a handful of other states, this is also not the case because no one is serving the sentence.
In 2005, Supreme Court rulings have accepted adolescent brain science and banned the use of capital punishment for juveniles, limited life without parole sentences to homicide offenders, banned the use of mandatory life without parole, and applied the decision retroactively. In 2012, the court ruled that judges must consider the unique circumstances of each juvenile offender, banning mandatory sentences of life without parole for all juveniles. In 2016, this decision was made retroactive to those sentenced prior to 2012.
The life experiences of the approximately 2,500 people serving life imprisonment without parole vary, but they are often quite traumatizing and they are marked by very difficult upbringing. Almost 80% of the prisoners have witnessed violence in their homes regularly. About 30% grew up in public housing, and fewer than half were attending school at the time they committed the offense. 40% have been enrolled in special education classes, and 80% of the girls who reported histories who actually committed crimes reported histories of physical abuse, and 77% of them reported sexual abuse.
So now let's talk about the cost of these life sentences. Aside from important justice considerations, the financial cost of juvenile life without parole sentences is very, very significant. A life sentence issued to a juvenile or the person below the age of 18 is designed to last longer than a life sentence issued to an older defendant. Housing for juveniles is also a significant cost. This requires decades of public expenditures. Nationally in the United States, it costs over $35,000 per year to host an average prisoner. This cost roughly doubles when the prisoner is over 50. Therefore, a 50-year sentence for a 16-year-old will approximately cost over $2 million.
Okay, so now let's discuss the Miller case that took place in the United States. The Supreme Court's recent decision in Miller versus Alabama found that juvenile life without the possibility of parole sentences for homicide crimes was unconstitutional if mandated by the state law.
Take a comparison between the US legal system and the Dutch system when it comes to imprisoning juveniles to life sentence without parole. Under Dutch law, children aged 14 or 15 can only be imprisoned to juvenile detention for up to 1 year, and when it comes to children aged 16 or 17, the maximum detention is 2 years. Authorities can also impose PIJ measures, which means that the juveniles will be sent to an institution for young people that treats them. The measure can last to up to 7 years, and at the same time, the court can also choose to try 16 and 17 years children as adults.
Eliminating juvenile life without parole does not suggest guaranteed release of these offenders. It is also important to mention that rather, it would provide that an opportunity for review can be granted after a reasonable period of incarceration, one that takes into consideration the unique circumstances of each defendant instead of just following the wide system.
The law today does not eliminate life without parole sentences. Therefore, it allows adolescents who commit homicide to be incarcerated until death.
There is no available review of their status, behavior, development, maturity, or responsibility changes while incarcerated, not in 30 years, not in 40 years, not ever.
Now we're off to interview people and see what their opinions on this topic are.
We look forward to hearing their opinions.
Let's roll the clip.
Well, I think it's parole should be allowed, because I think it's a bit harsh that you punish people for the rest of their life, something that they do in their youth. I think if they do something that critical that they have a life sentence, I mean, it should be considered real, thoroughly. But I do think parole should be possible in some way.
Life in prison for juveniles is a very harsh punishment for a crime someone commits before they're like 18, when they're still a child, when their brain hasn't developed yet, when they're not aware of their consequences well enough yet. So they should not be sent for life imprisonment. I think it's way too harsh.
I do believe that there are some crimes that are almost beyond redemption. I do think at least people who are minors should deserve a chance to grow, to change themselves, and to learn from their mistakes, even if there are very heinous crimes. There should be a system, of course, one that isn't too lenient, because crimes are serious and they should be punished. But people should also be rehabilitated, and especially since they're minors, that is the highest chance of them actually changing. That's my view on the topic.
I think it depends what they do in prison, you know. So if they try to be good prisoner, or they get a chance to work somewhere, like doing something in prison that can help the community or something like that, and if they show signs that they can probably be out and not in prison, and then be a useful member of the community, that I think they deserve a second chance. So it's not like you can just cut someone out.
Well, I don't think young people should be punished with life in prison without parole, because it really affects their future. One mistake can impact their whole life, and I don't think that's right. Everybody makes mistakes sometimes.
Yes. Nobody should be sentenced for life.
Yes, and juveniles not at all, no.
I think the US prison system is like a modern slavery.
Thank you for watching our vlog.
I hope you enjoyed it and you found our topic interesting.
We're interested in hearing your opinions, so please let us know.
Until next time,
Bye.
bye.